Hello Substreamers and welcome back to Substream News, your guide to the weird, the wonderful and the wild from the world this week. Now first of all I'm going to ask you to prepare to open your wallets to the tune of about $100, and that's because I have the kind of shocking news that GTA 6 is likely to be priced at $100. Let me explain. Yes, guys, we've got rumours of GTA 6 prices before we've got GTA 6 to follow that old meme trend that people love to do on social media. But yes, it's true. And on top of that, meme, we actually have some real analysis, and that comes from Michael Pachter, who's a bit of a game expert. He predicts that Take-Two, one of the companies financing GTA 6, will have to build in-game currency into the game, which means that there's an opportunity to make real money on GTA 6. Based on how big the ecosystem was with GTA 5 and what the ambitions are for this new game, they will have to build that into the game. And so people will want to play and will be willing to pay $100 or upwards of $100 to gain access to a game where hundreds of millions of people are playing, and there's potential for real money to be spent and made. Who really knows if this is likely to happen, but I think the world is ready for triple figure games, triple digit games. We are there. Look at inflation over the past few years. Currencies are losing value at an incredible rate. $100 is not $100 that it was a few years ago. I think once GTA 6 charges $100 per game, that will be the new norm, and pretty much every big release from then on will be $100 and up. But for now, we're going to move on to the next story. I've got quite an interesting report coming out of the US to share, and it says Gen Z is ditching the cubicle. Turns out that traditional office work is not appealing to our young friends. The data is quite surprising. It says that young men and women without college degrees are turning back to traditional jobs, believing that they can get an equally high salary from, kind of normal jobs or jobs that don't require a college or university degree. Some are calling this occupational segregation. Men, of course, kind of dominate physical labor jobs, things like truck drivers, construction workers, and even chefs. And currently in the US, where wages are a lot higher than pretty much anywhere else, chefs can make about $170,000 a year, which is quite a lot if the data is to be believed. That's cooking up a pretty good salary. Women, however, have moved into more traditional roles on the customer service side, caregiving, and especially nursing, which, of course, another kind of caregiving. But these roles can pay about $120,000 a year in the US, which is quite extraordinary. If you were to tell a British person that a nurse was paid that much in the US, they may consider packing their suitcase and moving across the pond. But, these are skills that appeal more to women, and their emotional advantages, let's say, communication, empathy, and mental fortitude. This is the kind of things you need for caregiving. Now, why is there such a shift right now? Why are men going back to traditional jobs like cooking and driving trucks instead of going into tech jobs? And why are women going more into nursing and caregiving, social care jobs? Why? Well, it's because college degree has become too much. It's just unbearable, and so a lot of people just don't want to take on that burden. They believe that they can prioritize skill development, growth, and work-life balance over the traditional degree and city job that burdens them with debt for decades. And more power to them. I encourage anybody to find a alternative life path that works for them. Good luck. You can do it. I did it, although I do have a degree. But I did find an alternative path to success, and you can do it too. Let's move on. Substreamers, let me ask you a question. It's quite a difficult question, and depending on how old you are, what gender you are, and what country you're from, you're going to answer this question very, very differently. The question is online dating as safe as it seems? Think about that for a second. Now, I imagine if you're a woman watching this video, you probably said no. If you're a Western man watching this video, You probably said yes, but perhaps you haven't put much thought into it. Perhaps you've never had to question your own safety when it comes to online dating. And that's a concern. Because we should all think about our safety when we're meeting strangers online. Of course, stranger danger. Our parents clearly didn't drill that into us enough, otherwise apps like Tinder and Hinge and Bumble would not be so successful. And yet here we are. But a new report has some pretty shocking information. It said, this was from The Guardian, by the way, and it said that the Match Group, which owns Tinder, Hinge and OkCupid, has known about abusive users for years and has not done enough to stop them. So they've not made enough efforts to ban abusive users from recreating new profiles, essentially. And there's a guy, he's called Stephen Matthews. This is a really famous case. He's currently serving a 158-year sentence for sexual assaults and rapes from women he met on Hinge. And these came after he'd already been reported for abuse. So clearly the platform did not do enough. They failed their female users. They failed all their users. Now Match Group has claimed that it is deploying new sorts of tools based on AI and ID verification and KYC and stuff like this. But the Guardian tested it and found that banned users, even after being reported for sexual assault, still found it very easy to create new accounts on Match Group apps. That's not good enough. And OkCupid's former head of user safety said this: "They're going to get worse. I'm hoping dating sites vanish." Guys, that comes from the former head of user safety. That is a chilling reminder that you need to be extra careful when using dating apps. Good luck finding love in this climate, in this economy, in this society. Good luck. Let's move on. From the slopes to the streets, this story is a wild downhill journey, a bit of a slalom. Former Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding has been added to the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. He's accused of running a massive transnational drug trafficking network, shipping hundreds of grams of cocaine from Colombia to the US and Canada. Oh my goodness. From Olympian to El Jefe, Ryan Wedding is on a bit of a mad one. The FBI has said that he went from shredding powder on the slopes at the Olympics to distributing powder on the streets. I quite like that one. Probably better than anything I could write. Kudos to the FBI's copywriter there. Good job. Yeah, so apparently he orchestrated the murders of competitors and, has earned the name El Jefe and become the boss of a violent drug organization. Who would have thought from a snowboarder, right? Marco Rubio, he's the Secretary of State in the US, has put out an incredible $10 million bounty on his head, leading to his arrest, which is pretty epic. That may get Dog the Bounty Hunter to chase him down. Is that guy still active? I don't know. I haven't heard his name in some years. It's just the only bounty hunter I could name. There's an additional $50,000 reward, which kind of pales in insignificance. I don't know why I'm even mentioning it, but that's a reward from the FBI if you provide information that captures to his arrest. So, Canada, Mexico, USA, they're all involved. There's $10.05 million up for grabs. But for now, we're going to move on from this downhill spiral and move on to the next story. I'm actually on a hotel roof and it's beautiful up here, but it's so hot, guys. It's almost 40 degrees where I am. It may look like a Riyadh of Morocco, but I'm actually on a rooftop of a Riyadh-themed hotel in Bangkok. But anyway, on to our final story. And what a better, lighter note to finish on than a Cheetozard. Yes, guys, that is a word I never thought I'd ever say. You've probably never heard of it before, but don't worry, because I'm going to explain. Somebody just spent 88,000 US dollars on a single Cheeto. Yes, the little cheesy puff snack for some reason, this one Cheeto is shaped like a Charizard, the fire Pokemon. And it was also a flaming hot Cheeto, which is the spicy variety, and apparently that only adds to the appeal of this Cheetozard. It's 3 inches long, which makes it 29,000 US dollars per orange inch, which is absolutely ridiculous sentence to be saying here on a video about the news. The lucky buyer also gets a custom Pokemon card and fancy storage box, presumably to preserve its nutritional value. Probably not. Is it a wise investment? Absolutely not. How ridiculous. What a question. What's the shelf life of a Cheeto? Who cares? Who has $88,000 to spend on a single Cheeto? And is this another sign that the Pokemon secondary market has gone absolutely crazy? Yes, it is. There's nothing else to say, guys. That's the end of Substream News. If you liked our stories, which I hope you did because we curated them just for you, all of the links are down in the video description. We try to be good digital journalists and provide our sources. So you can go and read more because I've just summarized them into short little chunks for you. That's the element of Substream News. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Joseph, your presenter. This is Substream News, and I hope to see you again in the new video. You can improve the odds of seeing this guy again by clicking subscribe, smashing subscribe. Bye for now. Stay curious.